Greetings, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we check out another indie game. This time we're looking at Craftimation 101. This game was developed and published by Luden IO and is a educational game as well as a sci-fi survival game. This title has you control a colony of robots using visual programming. Now it's an interesting idea, and I have an interest in software development and educational games as well, so it was a match made in heaven. The problem is that the game, at least for me, has some performance issues, with it regularly crashing and slowing down on me. But we're going to check out the campaign and see how far we can get. Let's check out Craftimation 101. The game begins with us touching down on a planet in our colony ship. Our goal is simple: survival at any cost. Now the game has a very simple interface for creating items. You combine different resources together and you get other resources, and the game does encourage some experimentation. It's a very intuitive system, and after a few minutes you're going to get most of the crafting and building mechanics down pat. The challenge is the visual programming, finding the best possible way to automate your environment, to automate the common jobs that you're doing by hand. So first thing we're doing is we're making a spark by combining two stones together, then we're combining that again with some coal and we have fire. We now, with our bonfire, are able to push back the ice a bit, giving us a bit more surface area to work with. We also have our very first robot, or Craftomate, a very useful bit of kit that will allow us to automate our operation. Now these guys are fueled by almost anything, but the best item to use to fuel them is a simple coal brick, made by a bit of stone and a bit of coal. Boom, he's fueled up. So now we need to use the visual programming tool to make our first script. Okay, so we're instructing the robot to find the nearest stone, and then to find a second stone, and then to combine these two together. And then we are telling him to go and find a piece of coal and again combine that to make fire. Then we're telling him to drop it into the campfire. Lastly, we want the robot to do this continuously, so we're looping output to input. Very simple. You can see here, even if you're not a programmer, you can follow this very easily. And there's an excellent use of visual programming. In fact, it's very kid-friendly. A young child could easily pick this up. The real challenge in the game lies in the smartest way to automate. You're going to want to increase your number of robots, expand your operation, and generally make things as efficient as you can. Let's get this guy fueled up. Beautiful. Now I'm going to want more fires. So we combine a bit of soil with a stone. We get a brick. Now I am going to skip the programming tutorial. It is stuck here. It won't let me progress. So a minor UI bug with the game. We're going to craft a campfire. Beautiful. Then we place it next to the ship and light that sucker up, and our ship is now thawed. We've got a second craftmate. Okay, I want to build another fire. I'm going to build it up here, and you're going to see why in a moment. Storage. These storage boxes are vital, allowing us to have different items packed away. I'm going to place this up here. And we're getting more storage. Emptying out these boxes because we'll eventually use those items, but for now I just need the storage. Fantastic. So I'm going to make one little change to our program. I want this robot, instead of placing these directly into the campfire, I want him to place the fire into one of the storage boxes. So let's just change it to here, reset the program, and play. Now these robots are going to run out of fuel because making this fuel is time consuming. So why don't we use our second robot to begin to make fuel? I'm going to do this a bit smarter though. I want him to go to a specific spot, and then I want him to pick up a stone. Then I want him to go down to where the coal is, and I want him to pick a piece of coal. Then I want him to combine those, and then I want him to drop the finished fuel rod into this storage. Then I want him to do it forever. Beautiful. Let's start that bad boy up. So now with one robot getting fire and another robot getting fuel, we can keep the campfire running, and we can also keep these guys fueled up. Fantastic. Now I've got one last little task to do, and that's to get the command center kitted out with the right resources, which will then give us access to another Craftomate robot. Now I could get a robot to do this, but it's only 15 stones. It's quicker to do it myself. Beautiful. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, third robot. Now we get to use our copy skill, which will copy the script to another Craftomate. And he's going to do the same task. Now, unfortunately, I still have to manually feed the robots the fuel, but we're going to automate that eventually as well. But for now, this will keep them going for a while. We're not going to have to worry about making fuel. We're not going to have to worry about making fire. All we have to do is create the items for the command center, in this case a spark. Excellent. Now, the next thing we need to do is get some metal. And you can see we're going to need a bit more of an extension on our fire. Easy done. Fire, of course, just being stone, coal, and dirt. And you can see why I've kept this much fire. We must light the flame. Now this guy, he's going to be in charge of getting metal. Actually, I'll get this guy here. So I want you to go to point here. Then I want you to pick up a piece of metal. Whoops. Okay, so we need to discover the item first. Beautiful. Next, I want you to go to this point here. Oop, no I don't. I want you to go to this point. And I want you to pick up some fire and combine them. And then I want you to drop them into this box here. And I want you to do that forever. Fantastic. So our little automation operation is going well. We've got steel. We've got happy robots. Robots, of course, happy as long as they're getting lots of coal to eat. Now, of course, we're going to want to increase the operation. We've only got one robot gathering fuel rods, and as you can see, it's not enough. Now, this is getting a little bit confusing, so let's maybe change the robot color. The ones that are getting fire, we're going to make grey. And the ones getting fuel, oh, fire's gone out. That was silly. So I was not watching. Let's get the fire going again. That's what happens when you don't watch your fire. So let's we got all this stored fire. Let's get this fire stoked right up. And eventually we're going to automate that too. Oops, so this he's had a little bit of a brain fart. And you can see this makes our collection process a lot easier when everything is being automated. Now we're going to need to get more robots getting the fuel, because as you can see we've got so many now that we're struggling to keep up with the fuel needs. So let's copy to this other Craftomate and let's get him building. Beautiful. All the robots are doing what they need to do. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is upgrade our robots, giving the ability to eat, and that means that we can they can already eat, but we can command them to eat. Very useful. We now have additional storage, which we're going to get to, but let's get this fire stoked. We've got plenty of fire, so let's just get all that in the fire pit. Keep this thing burning for a very long time. We've got these other fires, and I want to try and get to this storage next, but for right now we've got plenty. We're doing well. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's focus on making steel plates, and we make those by combining two metal bars. Boom. And you can see by automating these guys, we have made the process of getting these resources together really easy. Now we're still doing some stuff by hand, but you can see the robots are doing the heavy lifting now. Beautiful. Another Craftomate. So it's very easy to get an army of these guys very quick. So let's get... Fantastic. So what we can do now is I'm going to get another robot to start feeding them. And then we're going to pick a fuel rod. Whoops. Oh, okay. I can't, okay. I can't feed other Craftomates yet. My mistake. Oh. Okay, so what we've had now is our first crash. The game's completely locked up on me. And this happens after approximately 10 to 15 minutes, and we're hitting the 15-minute mark. I'm going to try and restart the game, and we're going to try and see if we can get a bit further. Alright, we're going to try and load the last save game. I'm hoping I have a bit of luck and it's not going to crash immediately. I've tried a few times now. Now, putting on my software testing hat, the game issue to me appears to be a memory leak. The problem happens once you reach a certain amount of robots and a certain amount of action on screen. The game wraps up and there you go, it's frozen again. So a few seconds after loading the game, it's completely frozen on me. Now, in order to be constructive and give the developer a bit of feedback, I've tried this on several computers. I've tried this on a different operating system. I have tried it with some different graphical options set, different desktop resolutions, and it appears no matter what I do, the game does crash after roughly about 15 minutes, which coincides with roughly about 5 or 6 robots running around. So very clearly to me, it seems to be a memory leak. The game, unfortunately, I can't recommend at this stage, just simply because it's just not stable enough yet. But hopefully this advice and information can help the developer to improve the game, because unfortunately there's a really good game hidden behind all of these performance issues, and I would really like to play it. So hopefully with the next update the developer can fix this, but right now I can't in good conscience recommend this. It's just simply not stable enough. But hopefully you did enjoy this video, and hopefully the developer does find it useful to improve the game. I do like to see these clever games used more on Steam. I like educational games, there's just not enough of them around there, so I hope that this game does get into a state where we can come back and play it again. But let me know what you think in the comments, and hopefully you'll join me next time when we check out another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.